All right, so.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so before I start, any basketball fans up here? Okay, cool. All right, so my intro, 2005, there were several issues obstructing the new NBA bargaining agreement, which included adding an age limit for rookies, toughening the existing drug testing program, and limiting the length of long-term contracts. Despite these issues, negotiations went smoothly between the owners and the players, and they were able to avoid a lockout in 2005. The deal guaranteed that players would make 57% of BRI, also known as basketball-related income, and that lasted for 6 years, which brings us to now, where the owners are claiming to be losing about $300 million per year, and they're trying to cut down the amount of money that players are making. So that brings me to my main claim, which is that reducing the percentage of revenue going to NBA players will negatively affect the league in several ways. My reason for this is that people go to basketball games to see players, like they don't go to see owners, like you don't see nobody standing outside the Staples Center trying to see Jerry Buss, like trying to see Kobe and Lamar play. So that brings me to my main points. One is that most elite players and players in general will make much less, especially considering the high TV ratings, news coverage, and endorsements that they influence. My second is that the union's unwillingness to further negotiate the salary split will delay the start of the season, which is a loss for everybody. My third is that the reputation of the league, players and commissioners will be ruined. So to start off, back to my first claim, most elite players and players in general will make less, especially considering the high TV ratings, news coverage, and endorsements they influence. Players are currently making 57% of basketball-related income, while owners are making 43%. CBSSports.com reports that owners want to reduce the players' earnings to 49%, with the possibility of raising it to 51%, while they take the rest of the portion. And while the owners were prepared to close this deal with these numbers, the players were firm in sticking to receiving 53% of the deal that was made. This is encouraging many star players such as Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers and Darren Williams of the New Jersey Nets to play overseas while the lockout continues. Losing these valuable players to rival teams overseas will result in the NBA losing even more revenue. So, for example, ESPN declared that Kobe will make $2.5 million after accepting an offer in Italy to play just 10 games over the course of 40 days. So while this isn't his normal salary, it's better than being without a job here in the U.S. And even if he did stay out here and continue to play, Los Angeles Lakers owner Jerry Buss states that Kobe Bryant, who made $25 million this season under his current contract, is worth about $70 million. So this proves that he's a vastly underpaid player. On my second point, the union's unwillingness to negotiate the salary split will delay the start of the season, which is a loss for everybody. The NBA Commissioner David Stern has said that with every day that goes by, there will be further reduction on what's left of the season. This means that they're losing money every day that they have to cut back on the season, which results in less basketball-related income and makes negotiations even tougher because they have less money to distribute. Stern also says that they lost $200 million from canceling preseason alone. So, and cancellations of the first week basically continue this trend. So, it's also a loss for newly draft players. Many are frustrated because all the years they spent trying to get into the NBA basically seems worthless now. So many are being forced to stay in college and play for another year or go another route, such as playing abroad. This is also an obvious loss for fans because we don't get to see our favorite players or teams play. And then many fans are becoming apathetic with the NBA and are focusing on other sports instead of waiting for the lockout to end. So this directly affects ticket sales and puts a negative image on the NBA in fans' mind, which leads to my next point, which is main claim number 3. The reputation of the league players and commissioner will be ruined. So besides the financial damage, the public image and popularity of both the players and the team owners will be forever ruined as the lockout proceeds to take away part or all the 2011-2012 season. And although most successful players gain much of their fortunes off the court, loss of whole or part of the season will result in lost fans, dropped sponsorships, and damaged public images. Many fans remember the last lockout, which was in 1998 and 1999. The season was projected to have 82 games, but it turned into a 50-game season. So this new lockout just dampens the fan spirits again, and they basically have lost faith. And if they haven't already, they're feeling let down and dissatisfied. So, in conclusion, my main claim was that reducing the percentage of revenue going to players in the NBA will negatively impact the league in several ways. And I spoke about how the most elite players and players in general will make much less, especially considering high TV ratings, news coverage, and endorsements they influence. And I also spoke about the union's unwillingness to further negotiate the salary split will delay the start of the season, which is a loss for everyone, and that the reputation of the league, players, and commissioners will be ruined. Thank you.
All right, the proposition's labeled pretty clearly, although it seems to me like most of your argument is not really directed at the players taking less. It's directed at whether or not there's a lockout and games get canceled or the cancellation of the season. So that seems to be where the argument, at least what your claim is all about, and I'm not sure how much dispute there is on that particular issue. If you're going to focus on the players taking less, then you have to show us what the consequences of them not getting as much money as they would have been getting would be. For instance, maybe there's some harm to the players that are coming in, or Kobe won't be able to make the payment on that additional ring that he's going to have to buy his wife while cheating in Italy. I don't know, something like that. That there's got to be some consequence to them not having the money. They're being forced to stay in college. Well, if they're forced to stay in college and continue to playing basketball, then the audience isn't going to be denied getting an opportunity to see those players play. In fact, they're going to get to see them play for a lot cheaper price. So I'm not exactly sure why that is a harm. So there are a few things here and there that are a little bit problematic. Look, you did a good job organizing the material. You signposted as you went through it. You generally presented information on all of the points. That whole second point, though, seems to contradict your first point. It basically says, the player's obstinance on the contract is going to shoot them in the foot. And you're saying that shooting them in the foot is going to harm them. So if it's their fault, why is it an issue? What's controversial about this? I just don't get that particular point. You did a pretty good job, like I said, citing your evidence. Way too much reading in the presentation, so you need to stop and talk to us a little bit more. All right, thank you.